I remember the carpet first. Beige, threadbare. My palms burned as I scraped for traction. Air refused me like a locked door. My chest seized and stuttered. I tasted metal. I heard my sister laugh, light, practiced, while she twirled my inhaler between her fingers like a prize she'd won. "Gasp, loser!" The room went quiet in that way that only happens when adults decide not to be adults. My parents sat on the couch, eyes fixed on a muted TV, mouths tight with the discipline of denial. I dropped to my knees. I clawed at the floor. I learned something in those seconds between breath and black. Not about asthma, about family. That was the first betrayal, not the last. We grew up under the same roof, same rules written in disappearing ink. She was the miracle. I was the inconvenience. She learned early that cruelty, delivered with a smile, passed as charm. I learned early to survive without asking. Love, when it came conditional. Approval was a currency I never held. Years later, when I trusted her again, it felt like progress, like healing. She called late, voice honeyed, asked for help, legal help, financial help, a signature here, a favor there. "You're the smart one," she said, as if that absolved everything. I wanted to believe we'd aged out of our roles. I should have recognized the pattern, the pauses, the selective memory, the way she never put anything in writing unless it protected her, the way my parents praised her initiative and called my caution pessimism. I noticed the small fractures before the break, documents altered after midnight, emails forwarded with attachments missing, meetings rescheduled without me, a family trust that somehow excluded my name. The undeniable proof arrived quietly. A notification misfired, a shared drive opened when it shouldn't have. There it was, her voice in a recording she didn't know existed, calm, calculating, talking about me like an asset to be liquidated, talking about the night of the inhaler like it was a funny story. "They'll never side with her," she said. "They never do." I didn't cry. I didn't confront. I didn't warn. I planned. I learned the law the way other people learn prayer. I documented everything. Dates, times, metadata. I let her continue, just enough. I made myself useful. I smiled when she smiled. I signed nothing without copies. I installed cameras where cameras belonged. I requested records in ways that left trails. I asked my parents questions they'd answer reflexively, not realizing how often they contradicted themselves. When she escalated, I stepped aside and let the rope unspool. The plan wasn't revenge. Revenge is loud. This was justice. Precision. I filed motions without fanfare. I submitted evidence through proper channels. I requested a continuance so she'd feel safe. I subpoenaed phone logs, medical records, the video. That one took time. Old camcorder, dust, a mislabeled tape, a birthday party overwritten by the night I couldn't breathe. It wasn't cinematic, no swelling music. Just me on the floor, eyes wide, my sister's smirk framed perfectly as she dangled survival like a joke. My parents in the background, inert as furniture. Today, the courtroom smelled like polish and old paper. She sat 3 seats away, leg bouncing, confidence curated. She wore the suit she saves for winning. My parents sat behind her, hands folded, prepared to testify to their own amnesia. The judge adjusted her glasses, cleared her throat. "Before we begin," she said, "let's watch a family video." The screen flickered, static. Then the room from my childhood bloomed into life. Beige carpet, my hands, my breath ragged, animal, the inhaler bright and red. My sister's voice cut through, sharp as glass. "Gasp, loser!" She trembled. At first, just the hands, Then the shoulders. When my wheeze spiked through the speakers, something inside her cracked. She screamed. Not words, noise. The kind that comes from a cornered animal realizing the trap was built by someone it underestimated. My parents stood, tried to speak. The judge raised a hand. Silence fell heavy and deserved. I didn't look at my sister when the charges were read. Negligence, fraud, conspiracy. I listened to the language like a lullaby. When the gavel fell, it sounded like breath returning. After, in the hallway, she finally looked at me, eyes wet, face wrecked. "You planned this," she whispered, as if that was the sin. I nodded once, calm. "I survived it," I said. "This is just the paperwork." I don't feel triumphant. I feel aligned. The world clicked back into place, the roles corrected. I rose without applause, I left without looking back. Justice doesn't gasp, it waits, and when it arrives, it breathes easy.